Yo, what's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to the podcast, another episode of Caffeine and Green with your man, Connor Cardenas. And before we get into it today, man, I just want to give you a huge shout out to the title sponsors of Caffeine and Green, which is 7 Seas Roasting and Thorn Street Brewery, coming straight out of South Park and North Park of San Diego, California. And the benefit of having 7 Seas Roasting as one of the sponsors of the podcast is that they have afforded me a code for y'all to purchase some coffee from the website. So if you go over to 7seasroasting.com and hit that coffee tab, you're going to scroll through our coffees that we have available right now, which is going to be the El Jaguar, which is chocolatey, nutty, a little bit of citrus. Have the Non Kali, which is a Laos coffee, which is a little bit more like almond, butter cookie, and I believe a little bit of mango. Our Fifth Gear Espresso, which is always a crowd favorite. And then also, I believe we have a little bit of decaf left. So you can get any one of those 4 coffees. Unfortunately, the Spikes roast is a charity roast, so it's not included in this deal. But you can get any one of those coffees. You're going to get 3 bags of coffee for $30. Now, that's a really good deal because 2 bags of coffee is $32. So you're basically getting a bag of coffee for free. So pick any of those coffees, like I said. Head over to checkout. Input my code, CANDG, at checkout. That's caffeine and green. That's C and G at checkout. And you're going to get that deal, which is 3 bags of coffee for $30. My guest today is a Miss Brynn Blackstone. She is a little bit of a local legend around these parts of South Park, San Diego. She works at Fernside, which is a bar right across the street from 7 Seas Roasting. That's how I met her. It was only after knowing her for a couple months, just talking to her, hanging out, that I found out that she had quite the story to tell. It was one that definitely has a lot of overcoming, a lot of motivation, a lot of hustling, and definitely just a little bit of inspirational. She had a brain aneurysm, and she talks about that on the show and being basically 1 out of 10 people to survive that and live and talk about it. So it was a really good episode today. And I have to say, dude, something like that, you just have to appreciate it and really just understand, like, dude, life is so fragile and it can be gone at any minute, brain aneurysm or not. So without further ado, I would like to introduce y'all to Brynn Blackstone. This your time to shine, homie. Let's go. Give me caffeine and green. It's your boy Connor. What's good? Good. Caffeine and green. And we're live.
How's my hair? Just kidding.
Dude, your hair's chill. That's like what you consider a tittle bun. Is that what it's called? Or just a bun?
This is...
You got to speak into the mic.
I didn't do my hair bun. I don't know.
Pull the mic down there like that.
Down?
There you go.
Got it.
Perfect. All right. Welcome to Caffeine and Green. We are with Miss Brynn Blackstone today. Welcome to the show, Miss.
Oh,
Cheers.
You.
Boom. Yes. Oh, got it. That's right. Yes. All right. How you feeling?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Nervous.
Dude, you have quite the ankle right there. What happened? So for people who can't see it, Brynn has, I don't know what the, like a I don't know what color it is actually. It's like a purple
fuchsia.
Fuchsia.
It's hibiscus.
Hibiscus. That's the color?
That's hibiscus.
Okay. It's a wrap. You rolled your ankle.
I got a good pedicure though. It's cute. My
Debatable.
toes are cute. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
First of all, my toes are so cute.
They're fire. My toes are on fleek. Mm-hmm.
I hate you.
So how did you roll your ankle?
Doing laundry.
Doing laundry. Yeah, you were telling me this before the podcast, and it's like, wow. Like, dude, I can't believe that.
I can. It's me.
Dude. I mean, for people who don't know you, you are quite the little local living legend here in South Park, San Diego. You work at...
the mayor.
You're the mayor of San Diego or South
Park?
Okay, of South Park. Yeah, and I met you across the street from 7 Seas at Fernside. Fernside. What do you do there?
I run the floor, and sometimes I hop behind the bar.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Plan events, host events.
Yeah, you do some pretty cool events there.
We do some pretty dope shit there.
Yeah, dude. How did you get involved with Fernside?
Just being a regular, going in there all the time, and knowing everyone who works there now, but I've been friends with for like years,
Mm-hmm.
and just made sense to be there. They're spending my money, might as well get paid.
Yeah, right. And I mean, you are no stranger to working in bars at all. Like
No.
you've opened up multiple bars.
Yeah, last 10 years.
The last 10 years.
Sorry.
No worries. No worries. So you've been a bartender for 10 years?
Been a bartender for 9. Technically 10, but the first year was illegal.
Illegal.
Yeah.
Were you underage?
I was.
Damn.
I was 20 years old, bartending at a strip club.
Bartending at a strip club?
Yeah.
Where was this?
It was in the valley part of Los Angeles in Canoga Park.
Shut up, dude. You lived in Canoga Park?
I did. I lived on
Wait, real quick. How old are you?
30.
You're 30. When did you live in there?
I lived in Canoga Park for I lived in LA for most of my life, like 20 years of my life.
I lived in Canoga Park.
No, you didn't.
Swear to God.
I worked at Expose across the street from Costco and the Goodwill.
Costco and the Goodwill. Tell me where this is at.
It's on, I'm trying to think of the street names.
Exposed.
Exposed Strip Club. Big purple sign. There's always a blue Viper parked outside.
I never went to strip clubs when I was
No, but
living in
you would
LA.
know it just because it was right there on the corner.
It was?
Yeah, so...
Because if you took Topanga Canyon, go all the way up
Man,
to
you're a
where...
fancy kid.
No, you take Topanga Canyon. That's a street.
I know. I used to live out Topanga Canyon,
Yeah,
too.
so go up there, go up to Topanga Canyon, and then you would go to Canoga Park and...
I lived off of Canoga Park.
out like right up Canoga Park in Alabama.
I lived off of Canoga Park in Owens Mouth by that little park. I lived in those apartments where the park was.
Okay.
I had my sister's 16th birthday party at that park.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's so fucking... Dude.
Yeah, so literally 2 blocks. So I don't know why I can't think of the main street that it was on, but on that main street there was the Vallarta, the Mexican market.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exposed was right by there.
Okay. I know exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a big purple building. There was a full bar on one side that had bikini dancers, and then there's a full nude club that just had like sodas and like snacks or whatever.
Wait, did the bar have pool tables?
No. The bar was really small. The bar next to the grocery store, or across the street from the grocery store, had food table or pool tables.
That's what it was.
Yeah,
Okay.
but one side was full nude, so they just did like mocktails or whatever, like no alcohol. But the owner is smart because he opened a full bar next door with bikini dancers, so you could just pay to get into one and get a stamp, and you could go back and forth. So he did it right. And then next door to that was a sex shop.
I have been there. I do remember this
that's
now.
right.
I do remember this now. Okay.
But you want to know what's funny? For all the strip clubs that are in Hollywood and LA, ours was most popular for famous people because it was hidden in Canoga Park. It wasn't in downtown. It wasn't in Hollywood.
Yep.
Like Rob Kardashian, sorry guys, calling you out. Brian McKnight.
McKnight, back at one.
What's the guy's name from the Pacers? My friend hooked up with
Reggie
him.
Miller.
No, the night he came in.
Paul George.
Paul George, or not? Was it Paul George? It was
He
Paul
plays for
George.
the Clippers now.
No, not Paul George.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oladipo.
I don't remember his name.
It's
Anyway,
okay.
he came in. This was when he got signed to the Pacers,
Mm-hmm.
and I had the Laker game on one of the TVs, and I was like getting after it, and I was ignoring customers. So that's how he got my attention. He was like, "Excuse me," like he wanted a bottle of water, and I was like, "Sorry, like this game's super important, like championships." Obviously, you wouldn't know because Golden State wasn't doing shit at this time, but
I don't care.
I'm just kidding.
I would always root against the Lakers, no matter what. When they were playing the Celtics, oh my God,
I hate the Celtics.
Yes. Anyway,
so
Golden State's still
it was
the best.
Paul George. It was Paul George.
Yeah.
It was Paul George. He has a pit bull named King. That's how I remember. Okay, so I used to work there with this super fine girl named Jessica. She was like super thick. Like they used to love her, and he couldn't wait to talk to her, but he had to finish talking to me about basketball first.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know who he was. And so him and his whole crew, like, they were all college basketball players. They were there. They, like, took a party bus there. They spent so much money, closed the place down for him. Jessica went home with him.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then, she told me about
It was awesome.
It was. She told me about it the next day. Like, she said she got treated like a queen, so whatever.
Gangster.
So I remember, like, 6 months later, we're at TGI Friday, the Canoga Park one,
Uh-huh.
and we're watching watching the game, and they're playing against the Indiana Pacers, and this fool's on TV, and
Yeah.
she was like, well, we didn't know because he wasn't on the team yet.
Oh.
She was like, oh my God, she's like grabbing my arm, and she was like, Brynn, there's Paul. And I was like, what? And I look, I was like, oh my God, you had sex with him. Like, this is so crazy. It was cool. Rob Kardashian came in when he wasn't famous yet, Just His Sisters.
He wasn't famous.
He wasn't. Like, he was so extra. Like, he wanted me to know who he was, and I didn't. And he was so annoying. He was trying to talk to me about my tattoos, and I was like, not today.
Not today.
And then he was like, anyway, I'll pay for everything with this card. So I look at the card, and I see his name on there is Robert. I don't even read his last name because I don't give a shit. His friend called him out and was like, damn, bro, she don't even care who you are. I don't.
Chill.
Like,
Chill.
Yeah, so it was cool. We had a lot of famous people in there. The owner is an ex-porn star.
Oh, my God.
It was cool. And then they had the bar next door, and I remember I had been a cocktail waitress there for like 3 years while I was paying for college, and I wanted to be a dancer so bad, but my mom got me the job. She was friends with the owner, and she let him know if she ever caught me on that stage, like the whole place was going down.
Yeah.
So it never happened. So he learned to trust me because I ran the floor for him. Like, I was his eyes when he wasn't there, and you know, a lot of the times we would hire these little waitresses, and they would see stripper money, and they become dancers. So essentially, I was the only one that stayed a waitress. So he started to trust me, and then he called me. I was like 19, about to be 20. He was like, I need you to go next door and bartend. And I was like, what? I was like, I don't know anything about cocktails. He's like, I just go figure it out. He's all, go pour beers and pour vodka into cups. I don't care. And I was like, okay. So I went over there that one night. The next day, I had 5 shifts. I was like, you know I'm not 21. He's like, I didn't ask. And I was like, okay.
So you just like took cash? Like all under the table?
Oh,
or?
yeah.
Damn.
Oh, yeah. He hooked it up so fat. I made so much money over there. And it was cool because I lived down the street. So my mom would come in with her friends at the bikini bar all the time. It was a safe zone for certain hoods. So, like, because it was on the corner of the 4 corners. So, like, you got one association on this side, one on this side, one on this side, one on this side. The rule was if you're on that corner, you can't bang anything. So, like, it was kind of the meeting spot.
Dude, I remember the first day I moved into Canoga Park, my homie Regis, like, told me where each neighborhood was. He was like, this is where, like, the Canoga Park, Alabama dudes were. He's like, this is where the Bloods were. This is where the Crips were. He's like, you can't, like, over here, like, like, and then other homies were telling me about it. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? That's crazy. Dude, in that hood, in that neighborhood, I remember the first day I moved into Canoga Park, this chick was fighting with another chick over a fence. Girl left, came back around the corner. They started fighting over the fence again. She grabbed her out of her, like, over the fence, pulled her down on the ground, started beating her ass, and then got back in the car and left. And I was just standing across the street just looking like,
That's probably my mom.
This is where we live now. Like, damn, son, this is where we live.
Who did you live with?
I live with my roommate from Fremont, my homie Alex. Shout out Alex Junn. Yeah, we moved there, and we went there during the day. We moved in at night. Dude, there was cockroaches already chilling when we showed up. It was so insane. Like, we rolled in there. They're like, what are you doing here, bro? This is our spot. It was disgusting.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Canoga Park was kind of crazy. I lived right across the street from, like, you know where the Rite Aid was on the corner?
I was
like
just going to say, my sister and I used to walk to that Rite Aid all the time to get ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Because we lived in the neighborhood behind the Vallarta across the street from the Rite Aid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly where I
That's
lived.
so crazy.
Yeah.
Small world.
What year was that?
Ooh. 2006?
Yep.
Ish.
Definitely was there.
2005. I lived off of Remitt Avenue.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dude, I was just up over there the other day. I mean, not the other day. It was a couple months ago now. I went to go see my homie. And I hadn't seen him in a minute. And he's just such a G. He's always been a G. And I went to go see him. And I was like, he was chilling at his house. But he lives off of, like, Shoop. He lives over, like, Woodland Hills now. So he doesn't live in, like, Canoga Park.
All right. I used to live in Woodland Hills,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, and it's chill over there, you know? So, like,
I like it.
He lives over there, and I knocked on the door. He ain't answer. I knock on the door. I'm like, yo. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm turning around. He fucking opens the door. He runs up, break yourself, fool. And I was like, oh, shit. I was like, dude, you can't be doing that, man. I haven't been here in a minute. Like, damn. But, yeah, man, I miss that area. It was definitely a different time when I was living there. When you're young and just wilding out.
Yeah. I feel like it got a little more dangerous over the years. Like, I went I went back after a hockey game sometime last year, and I even drove by 2 of my old houses, and I was just like, damn, like, there's no way I could live there now. Like, I'd get eaten alive. Are you kidding me? Oof. No.
What sparked the move to San Diego?
When I left LA, I moved to Temecula, where my where my parents live, and I've always been attracted to San Diego. I've always taken vacations to San Diego. Anytime I got out of town, it was to San Diego. And I've always had the hardest time leaving. It was just
San Diego?
Yeah. Like, I would legit call in sick to work just to have another day in San Diego and, like, not tell anybody.
Yep.
And I remember my parents always just stay close to us. You know, you got to stay close to family. Family's all you got. And I used to fight it so much. I would think about moving. I would get myself set up. I would find a job. And then I'd be like, nah, my mom wants me to stay. And then finally, after my whole accident happened, she was the one that was like, you need to go.
To San Diego?
Yeah, she's like, go do whatever you want to do. Like, what else could she say at that point? Like, so.
But wait, so did you live? You lived in Canoga Park by yourself?
My family lived there.
Your family did live there.
My mom moved to Temecula 10 years ago.
Okay.
I stayed in the Valley. I lived in Woodland Hills and Studio City.
Okay.
Before Canoga Park, we lived in San Fernando Valley, Van Nuys.
Yep.
I lived off Balboa for a hot minute. My grandparents used to live there after the whole Louisiana thing. And I was there for the Northridge earthquake and everything.
Damn, it's like CSUN and all that over there. Yep.
Yeah. That shit was crazy.
Dude, damn. That's crazy. That's, wow, small world.
I can't believe we lived in, like, the same neighborhood. Oh, yeah. That's gnarly.
Dude, I moved to Sherman Oaks, and it was, like, on the border of Van Nuys and Sherman Oaks.
Yeah.
Right off of Sepulveda.
Uh-huh.
And then I think from there it was, dude, I don't even know. But I basically bounced around, but it was, like, Sherman Oaks, Canoga Park, Malibu for like a second.
You lived in Malibu?
It wasn't like that though. It wasn't like
with
that
your
though.
grill? How did they take it?
No, it definitely wasn't like that. Dude, that's a whole nother story. It's not. This interview is not about me, but this is like that's a whole nother story. I lived in the homie's house. Like they let me live there. So like the homie had this house that was fucking 3 stories. It was a mansion. It was, damn. Dude, he had a koi pond in his fucking house, like inside.
Is he single?
I don't know. I think I lost contact with him, but he had a bar. He had 2, crazy. So I got to live there, and it was chill. But and then I moved to Hollywood, and Hollywood was like my final stop. I lived on the corner of Hollywood Boulevard, or I lived on the street like Hollywood Boulevard and Wilcox.
Living in Hollywood would make me want to leave the state.
Dude, it was pretty intense.
Yeah.
Hollywood was cool, but it definitely, I would say, changed me. Definitely broke me a little bit. I think once I lived in Hollywood, it was like, yo, it just sucked the life out. It was like, dude, I gotta go. I literally was living in Hollywood, and I came down here, much like yourself. I had like the calling from San Diego. Mm-hmm. Every time I came here, it was like, I don't want to go back.
You don't want to leave.
Why would you want to leave here, right? I remember one day my homie was just like, you could live on that couch. I had an apartment in Hollywood, like had my own room, chilling, good. I broke the lease in one day. Like there was 2 dudes already living there, so I was like, just peace out. And then I broke the lease, paid like took the L on the money, and I was just like, I gotta go. I packed up my room, and I was back Thursday morning at like noon, and then I slept on the couch until I got an apartment like a couple months later.
I did the same thing minus the couch. I broke my lease in peace.
Yeah.
I blamed it on my injury.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's why you're on the show. That's why, I mean, you brought it up now. Like, I think that's a perfect segue. Let's just get into it. So let's talk about, this is why you came on the show, because a couple weeks ago, we were hanging out, and you were telling me about your accident, which was something I knew nothing about. And once you told me, I was like, yeah, we have to get you on the show. We have to get what happened out. And much like described in the Instagram post that I did, you had a brain aneurysm.
Yeah. Shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Unpredictable. Just like my ankle being messed up. I was just walking out of the house to do some laundry. I was watching hockey, and I woke up in UCLA hospital.
You went to a hockey game?
No, I was with my friends. Shout out to Sebastian for saving my life. We were watching. We were watching just hockey in the living room. There's a bunch of us hanging out. You know, we're drinking Modelo's. I had had headaches my whole life growing up, so my friends were used to me bitching about my head hurting. It's not a big deal. My friend Sebastian said I was chilling, acting normal. I had mentioned that my head hurt, so he got me some Advil, gave it to me, drank it with my Modelo, continued watching hockey. According to him, because I don't remember anything, I said I had to go to the restroom. I used his downstairs restroom. Him and one of our mutual friends heard me fall down, and they like knocked on the door. I wasn't responding, so they broke into the bathroom. Sebastian used to be an EMT, thankfully, because like I would probably died in this fool's house. Like, he said I started convulsing, and he had to pull my tongue out of my throat. I was choking. I've never had a seizure or anything before in my life, so like I don't remember any of it. Next thing that I remember personally was waking up in the hospital to my mom like looking over me and me asking her if I was gonna die and her telling me she didn't know. So like
That's the first thing you remember?
Yeah.
You just came to and you're like, am I gonna die?
Yeah. I woke up.
Whoa.
I guess I was like knocked out for a while. Like the whole time I was knocked out, I was knocked out from his bathroom. Ambulance came and picked me up, took me to the nearest hospital. They couldn't diagnose me, so the doctor panicked and had me life-flighted in a helicopter to UCLA. They diagnosed me like instantly, thank God, because I think they told me I was like 2 hours away from dying. Like if I would have sat at that first hospital for 3 hours in total, probably like 2 hours and 30 minutes, depending on the helicopter ride, I wouldn't have made it. My brain would have completely bled out. So
you're passed out? Are you like breathing?
I don't know.
You didn't know?
I have no idea. I didn't even ask all those questions. I remember waking up, and obviously I'm laying on my back, and I look up and my mom's just standing over me, like the only person I know. I don't even look around. I just make eye contact with my mom, who's right in front of me, crying, trying not to cry because she doesn't want to freak me out.
Yeah.
And I remember I couldn't feel anything.
Zero.
I couldn't feel anything. And I remember asking her if I was going to die, and she like took a big gulp and sucked back her tears, and she said, I don't know. Damn. And then I fell back asleep. And I guess I woke up days, almost a week later. They said I was in like a slight coma. And I woke up with no memory. I didn't know who my parents were. I didn't know what date it was. I thought Bush was president. Like, just some weird shit, dude.
Because this happened how long ago?
May of 2020 will be 2 years.
Damn.
May 7th of 2020.
And you're 30. So this happened when you were 28.
I'm 30. This happened when I was 28.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's pretty gnarly.
So what proceeded next? You wake up, you don't know anything.
I woke up, I didn't know too much. From what I remember personally is not a whole lot. I remember I didn't know who the people in my room were at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I just remember being emotional because there was people in front of me. I immediately started pulling, I had all these machines hooked up to me. I immediately started pulling wires off of me. I've never had a catheter before. I was freaking out. I remember specifically saying, like, I need to go to the restroom. And they're like, it's okay, just go. And I was like, that's not how this works. Like,
yeah.
I remember freaking out, trying to get the catheter out of me, trying to pull my IVs out. Yeah, they had to hold me down. It wasn't pretty, but I don't know what they expected. Like, they should have had me strapped down before I woke up because I fucking lost. I was like the Hulk in there.
Yeah.
And my mom calmed me down. The surgeon was in there talking to me. I do remember that they would ask me the same questions every time I woke up because I was constantly passed out. Mm-hmm. Like, I would be out for days, hours. Every time I woke up, somebody would come in the room, and they would always say, what's your name? What's your birthday? Do you know the date? Or do you know the year? Anything. And sometimes I didn't know the date because I don't even know how long I was sleeping for.
Yeah.
And it still, I still at this time didn't know what happened to me. No one would tell me. Not one person. The doctor, the nurses, no one. They'd just be like, don't worry about it. What do you mean don't worry about it? I'm in ICU.
You would ask what happened.
Yeah. Like, why am I here? Well, you had a brain aneurysm. What is it?
Brain aneurysm.
That's what they would say. And then I would go reach for my phone, and my mom's like, no, you're not getting on WebMD. You better chill.
Yeah.
She just didn't want me to freak out even more than I already was. Because if I would have Googled that and saw what I saw and, like, knew the results, which I think they've changed them up a little bit because it's becoming more popular and more aware, like brain injuries and stuff. But, I mean, you can't read that and not, like, choke up a little bit.
Yeah.
I eventually read it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even know how I'm alive right now. And my mom's like, nobody does. It's fucking crazy.
Well, it's when you have a brain aneurysm, like you said, something 9 out of 10 people die.
Yeah. So at the time, once I finally sat down and talked to the doctor or the neurologist, he was just like, yeah, 9 out of 10 people don't make it. But it also depends on the situation. I had a friend recently, I'm not going to say any names, but she was complaining of a headache. Thankfully, she went to the ER, freaking thankfully, because she was having such a bad migraine because she had an aneurysm behind her eye. And they had actually, they were able to catch it before it burst. That's the thing. If it bursts, so many people don't even know that this thing exists because you can't stop it. It's almost like a cancer in a way. You can't stop it. You can't prevent it. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so, you know, some people are better about taking care of themselves and, like, when they're in pain, they act on it. There's other people like myself. Like, I'm going to be honest, like, shit happens and I'm like, whatever, I'll get over it. I'll sleep it off.
Yeah.
That's not cool. Like, you can't just sleep off everything. And obviously this was a hard lesson for that. But yeah, there are people out there who draw attention to themselves and they're able to get their aneurysms either cut out or coiled or whatever the case may be before it bursts, which is amazing. In my case, mine burst. So while I was in the hospital, which blew my mind, 2 different people in the time span that I was in the hospital passed away from a brain aneurysm. They didn't even wake up ever.
While you were there.
Yeah. Which also scared the shit out of me. And I didn't realize it at the time, but I had an ICU nurse named Laura, and every time she saw me, she just got emotional. Because
a nurse, she's getting emotional?
She was super emotional. Like,
why?
Like, this chick came to visit me in Temecula just to check on me. Like, she fucking loved me. And she was emotional. And I asked her when she came to visit me. I didn't know this at the time, but she would just get super emotional because she works in ICU where people essentially just die.
Okay.
And she was like, you just fought so hard. Like, I was stubborn. Like, she even said, she's like, you were an asshole. You knew what you wanted. You wanted to get out of the hospital, and you did. And she was like, you have so much life to you. It's crazy. And all I would talk about is this bar that I was opening and, like, my family and all these people. And I just couldn't wait to get to them. And so she was the only one that was, like, pretty honest with me about stuff. But, yeah, it's the scary part, getting back to that, is the scary part is if you have an aneurysm and you don't know it and that shit bursts, you die.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, can you, for anybody who might not know, I mean, like, people probably have an idea of what it is, but what exactly is a brain aneurysm?
The easiest way for me to describe it, and I'm probably not 100% medically correct, it's kind of like a blood blister in a way.
A blood blister?
Like a clogged artery or something. You know, it's just, it's pressurized and you don't want it to pop.
It's a blood clot?
Yeah, it's kind of like a blood clot. That's the best way for me to describe it. I don't know.
But it's in your brain.
Yeah, it's in your head. And so for me, and sometimes I can still feel it. It's still there. It's coiled. It's wrapped up.
It's in your body?
It's in my head right now.
In your head?
Yeah.
On the side of your neck, or?
It's behind the left side of my head.
Wow.
So essentially it's just something that, excuse me, it's like when somebody's artery bursts, or, you know what I'm saying? Just something gets too full and it pops. It's like a water balloon. You fill it up too much and it just pops.
Damn.
So when this pops, it just fills your head with blood and you die.
Gnarly.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So usually the procedure is having surgery on your head, like cutting your head open and doing all that. Thankfully, super thankfully, I've always, for the most part, taken care of myself. I was healthy enough and my arteries were not clogged because I don't do drugs and all that crazy shit, eat a bunch of shitty food. They were able to go in through my thigh, which is one of your main arteries. They were able to go in through there and
With
do
like
the
a scope?
Yeah, do the surgery through there, which is crazy.
They did a surgery in your brain.
Through my thigh.
Through your thigh?
Yeah.
So they maneuvered it all the way up your
Yeah.
body? Wow.
And then I had a spinal tap also, which was one of the most painful things I've ever had.
What is that? I mean, I know what a spinal tap is.
Pretty
but
much they just put a hole in my back. I had like an actual hole in my back for like 4 months.
In your spine?
Yeah.
Like something out of like the Matrix, how they have
Yeah.
those like holes there?
I was a fucking robot for a little bit. It was crazy.
What is the point of doing a spinal tap?
I think that one was just helping maintain the blood flow for me. Just making sure like if there was any excess blood up there that it was just not affecting my my surgery, my procedure.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, man. I'm telling you, that hospital is something else. They did such a great job. Like, I don't even know how to thank them or repay them, but I remember the week before I went home, they took me out of ICU and they put me in a regular hospital room, which I was like, I guess I was happy about because that was just another stepping stone for me to go home.
Moving on up.
Yeah, straight up. And I started my physical therapy, which is the photo or the video of me trying to walk when I had the lady holding me from the back, like, helping me move my legs. All of my nurses from ICU came to visit me every single day.
Damn.
Outside of ICU. And they were like, we just miss you. Like, you're so funny. And
how long were you in ICU for?
Like a little over a month, I think.
A month?
Yeah.
Holy shit. And so you're in ICU, you're just bedridden.
Yeah. Well, I was bedridden. I guess I could have gotten out sooner. But I was determined to walk and decided I would take myself out of my hospital bed and try to walk, and I ate shit.
Like out of Kill Bill?
Yeah. I was like telling me I'm going to be a vegetable. Like they told me I was not going to be able to walk because I had lost all my motor skills. I still can barely write with a pen. It's crazy.
Barely write with a pen?
Yeah. Like the coordination is just not there for me. Like my writing used to be pretty dope. Now it just looks like chicken scratch.
Chicken scratch?
Yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, they were telling me all these things and it just wasn't making sense to me. And I was like, this is bullshit. My hands are in front of me. I can use them. I couldn't even hold a fork. I couldn't figure out how to get the fork to my mouth.
Like you knew what it was, you
and
knew
I
what you're supposed
do
to do, but you couldn't
I couldn't connect it. No motor skills.
What do you mean though? Like
there was no motor skills. They didn't work.
Your body, you were like essentially paralyzed?
There was no connection from my brain to my hand. Like you send signals from your brain. That's how your body functions.
Yeah.
Like my brain is telling my fist to clench right now.
Of course.
I couldn't do that. I could not wrap my fingers around a fork and feed myself.
Could you speak though? Like you could speak?
I could speak, but I was stuttering. I had a really bad memory. I couldn't walk. Obviously, I freaked out when they told me I couldn't walk. They were like, there's a possibility you're going to they didn't say I was going to be a vegetable, but that's what they're implying.
Yeah. They're like putting it in a way that it's like, we don't know if you're like, well, I couldn't say that. It'd be like something like, we don't know how long it's going to take you to get better.
Pretty much.
Something like that.
But also prepared me for someone else to be taking care of me for the rest of my life.
Could you turn your head at least?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a lot, though. I was in a lot of pain because I was just sitting in a bed for so long. Like, my body.
Did they have to, like, rotate you to keep you from getting bed sores
Hell
and
yeah,
shit?
they did.
Whoa.
It was nuts, man.
Heavy.
And coming from my lifestyle to being in the gym at 6 a.m. every day except for Sundays and just having this gnarly routine that I'm constantly living by to be in a bed where I can't do shit. Like,
yeah.
I had a lot of thinking to do, which also was not good. Like, not good at all. There was times where I for sure was like, just kill me. Why am I here? Just kill me. What's the point of me being here if this is how I'm going to live my life? This is not living. I don't want to be here.
You wanted to die.
I literally tried to kill myself multiple times.
Sitting in the bed?
Oh, yeah.
How, though?
Trying to figure out how to pull any cord out of me that I could because I thought they were keeping me alive.
But you couldn't move,
I was refusing. I was just yanking on shit. I was refusing medication. I was a problem. I was a fucking asshole.
But wait, I thought you said you couldn't move your arms.
No, once this was
Oh,
after.
this is okay,
yeah.
okay.
This was like once I realized, this is real. Like, I can't get out of this. I really can't walk because I tried and I ate shit pretty hard.
Yeah.
So once reality set in, especially if I usually wasn't by myself. My parents were there like every single day. My best friends were like sleeping at the hospital. I had a lot of visitors, which was really nice, like really helped me. Because honestly, like if I didn't have that support, if I didn't have people there talking to me or sitting with me or visiting with me, I probably would have I would have figured out a way to commit suicide in the hospital. I would have literally ended my life. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's just being honest.
No, I mean, that's totally fine. I'd rather you be honest. That's like, wow. So it took you a month to get out of ICU. How long did it take you to get out of the regular hospital room?
5 days.
5 days? Damn. That was quick.
I was playing zero games. Once I got the physical therapist, she was like, what do you want? I was like, to walk, let's go. And she's like, well, baby steps. And I was like, put that thing around me and walk me around the hospital.
Yeah.
And she did.
Is that what you were doing when you were like the 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi?
Yeah. So she essentially wrapped this like belt around me where she had control over it. And it was like connected to my legs as well. And so if I were to move or lean any way, she'd be able to keep me standing up. Mm-hmm. And I was so anxious when I got out of bed. I was like, okay, I'm doing this, it's happening. She was like, take your time. She was like, count by seconds. And I was like, 1, 2, 3. And she was like, no. She's like, do Mississippi. She's like, every time you say Mississippi, take a deep breath. So I got to like 3 steps and then I was just like, oh, I can't do this. I almost collapsed. So that's why, in the video, I like leaned over to the counter because
you're like,
again,
I gotta stop for
reality
a sec,
set in. I was like, wow, I really can't walk. So I still couldn't walk for a hot minute. My mom and stepdad had left for an Alaskan cruise and they didn't want to go. And I was like, go for me. I'm begging you to go.
Yeah.
And my dad and my stepmom had came and got me from the hospital. And I stayed with them until my mom got back from her cruise. And they live in Antelope Valley, Palmdale, California. Lancaster area, which is where I was when my aneurysm happened, visiting my friends out there.
Oh, damn, you weren't even like home.
No,
you were just visiting homies.
Yeah, and so that's why I was like extra scary too, because I was, like.
Damn, you're out there.
Yeah, and so.
Palmdale.
Hey, I went to school with Afro Man.
What?
Yeah, his dad I think is still the football coach at Palmdale High School.
Wait, I thought you lived in Canoga Park.
I did. I went to high school in Palmdale.
You lived in Canoga Park after high school? Mm-hmm. So where are you from?
My family's from Louisiana, but I grew up most of my life in Los Angeles. I know, it's crazy. Okay, we're not talking about that.
Sorry.
So I remember I had to go home to my dad's house, and it was such an uncomfortable feeling. I got, I was functioning fine with my hands and stuff. I was able to feed myself and like, I couldn't shower because I was walking with a cane. I couldn't walk on my own. I could barely even walk with a cane. But I would sit in the bath and bathe myself. Like my poor stepmom, she'd be like, let me help you. And I'm just like, get out of here.
No.
You are not my mom.
Yeah.
No, she tried. I really appreciate them. Like they really helped me out a lot. But it was emotional. I didn't want to be at that place where I almost died, that was super weird. And being at my dad's house under my dad's rules was just weird for me, and I felt like he was being extremely selfish to my feelings and what I wanted and needed at the time. He was taking it as an opportunity to like be dad of the year, be like a Facebook dad. No offense if you're listening. Yeah,
what does that mean?
It's like he got married and kind of like did his own thing, and we weren't as close as we used to be. But
like
then
remarried?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he kind of like pushed me out of his life a little bit. But then my accident happened, and then he was like, "No, you need to live with me. I don't want to lose you again." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, "This is about you. That sucks. I don't want to be here." So he like got to the point where he tried to keep my car. He was like, if you're leaving, I'm keeping your car. You don't own my car. You can't just keep my car. Like, he was scared, and I understand he was scared. But he was not understanding what I needed at the time. And what I needed was to not be there, because mentally I was waking up in the middle of the night. Like, if I don't get out of Antelope Valley, I'm going to kill myself in my dad's house at this point. Like, that was my go-to, which is terrible.
Just to kill yourself?
To kill myself.
What?
Because all these bad things were happening.
Dude.
So finally, my mom got back from Alaska, and my stepdad and my little brothers came to pick me up. Thank God. Dude. And I was like losing my mind. My friends would FaceTime me at my dad's house. I don't think there was a day that went by that I was not crying, because I could not wait to leave that place.
Why were you stuck there? Just because you couldn't?
Because my mom was on her cruise. So I was waiting for her to get back. But before my mom, I refer to my stepdad as dad. So when I say mom and dad, I'm talking about them.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were just like by my side the whole time, 24/7. Like, I don't think there was ever a time where I didn't see my mom. My birth mom was there as well, which was crazy. Like, not in a bad way. It was really nice for me, you know, just to have literally all of my parents, all four of my parents, or yeah, four. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you have two sets.
Yeah,
a mom and a dad, and then a stepdad and a stepmom.
Yeah, and then my birth mom. Okay, all five of my parents.
Birth mom.
Yeah, I'm adopted. But we're gonna talk about that anyway. So all my parents were there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to keep up. Like,
I know.
What?
Sorry. I know.
Okay.
Seriously, like, my life annoys me. Don't worry about it. So like, so just everyone's there, but my parents were just by my side like the whole time. My mom spent Mother's Day in the hospital with me. All my siblings were there. Like, she brought bagels. Like, and I just felt so, you know, I felt so shitty. Like,
why?
She's just because that's how I am. What? I put everyone before me. So for me, I'm just like, you shouldn't be spending Mother's Day in the hospital. And she was just like, don't get
what?
Yeah, she's like,
it's your mom, dude.
I know, but she was like, don't get your ass beat.
This is not your birth mom. This is your other mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so she brought all the kids, and we had Mother's Day in the hospital, which was, you know, it's fine. And when I got out of the hospital and finally got to their house where I needed to be, I lived with them for like a month, and I was still with my cane. And my mom did something for me that I will forever be grateful for, that really, truly helped me get to where I am today. She treated me as if nothing was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, yo, take the trash out if you're going to stay. Because I still had my own house in Old Town Temecula. Like, I still had all my own shit, but I couldn't live on my own at the time.
Yeah.
She treated me like nothing was wrong with me, and I freaking snapped out of that recovery so quick.
Yeah.
Like, take the trash out. You want a drink? Here's a glass of wine. Let's go to the winery. Let's go do things that are normal in your everyday life and get you back to it.
Yeah.
I didn't think about all this at the time, because when I stayed at my dad's house, he was like, just stay in these four walls. Don't go anywhere. Don't leave the house type of deal. And I'm just like, you got me fucked up.
You got me fucked up.
Yeah. So my mom just like every day she took me to do something different. Every day, take a shower, do your hair and makeup. You know, here's your normal clothes. Like, have a glass of wine with me. Let's go to dinner. Let's go. I got all dressed up, and we went to the grand opening of the bar that I was working on for so long. And I got to see my whole bar family. And like, you know, I had my cane and stuff, but still it was not a pity party, which is very important to me. Like, don't treat me like something's wrong with me, and I won't think something's wrong with me. So everyone disregarded the cane, the whole situation. People were just so happy to see me, and it was like overwhelming. And I was just like, I got this.
Tight.
Like, this is why I'm still alive right here. So
well, that actually leads me to like one thing I did want to ask you is with all this crazy path that you've gone down and these things that have happened, now that it's only been a year and a half, how has your life changed, or how's like your outlook on life changed? Do you think that's like more of like a positive, like, yo, this is a second chance, yo, I'm gonna like get after what I'm trying to get after? Or is it like you live in, like, do you feel like maybe it might be borrowed time, or you're just trying to get after it?
Um, it's changed dramatically, I think, for the best in my situation and the people around me. Um, Before my aneurysm, I was having some problems with my family because I didn't have my priorities in order.
Mm-hmm.
I was consistently putting work before everyone else. I never put myself first. I still have a hard time putting myself first, even though I preach to people to put themselves first.
Mm-hmm.
And before my aneurysm happened, the last time I had talked to my mother, I blocked her from contacting me because she pissed me off. And
Which one was this? The regular one?
yeah,
Okay.
just mom.
Okay, just mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I remember some party or gathering she was having. It must have been Easter or something. And I was like, yo, I have to work. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm in the middle of working full time at one company. And also, this is the same company that I'm working with to open this new spot. And I'm like in it. When I say in it, like, we were from concrete.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we started. Blueprints, architects, like it was cool. It was
You're
my
opening
first
up a bar.
real consulting thing. So I was just so busy all the time. Like, I didn't even have time for myself. And my mom just sent me this long text and was like, you know, you need to get your priorities in order. Kind of just putting me in check a little bit. And I was like, you know what? You're on timeout. And I blocked her. And then I had an aneurysm. Like,
You're
yes,
on timeout.
dude. Yeah, that's so shitty. So, before I answer your question, I'll say something. I think I shared this with you before. Something the doctor said to me that was like super deep, and it relates to this question and like how I view things now. So once I came to and like I was going to get released from the hospital and everything, I had a one-on-one with a couple of the doctors, and like they got pretty deep with me and some stuff, and I think it had to do with me constantly just wanting to kill myself. And so they gave me, so we're going to give you 24, we're going to ask you a question, give you 24 hours. All right. If you didn't make it, would you be okay with how you left it? I didn't even know, like, should I cry? Should I laugh? Should I shit myself? Like, what do you do at that point?
If you didn't make it,
Yeah.
would you be happy with how you left it?
Yeah.
Damn.
So deep.
Dude, yeah.
And so I just stood there in shock, and like, you know, I'm kind of a smart ass. Like, I usually have comebacks right off the bat. Doesn't even matter. I didn't even know what to say. I couldn't even take a breath properly. They're like, yeah, we'll give you some time. We'll give you about 24 hours. We'll revisit this question. Because if I couldn't answer that, I don't think they would have let me leave the hospital, because I was like too busy trying to kill myself, you know? So I do see things differently and better, because no, I would not have been okay.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no way. People are always like, oh, you should never regret anything. I regret so much stuff.
Really?
I did at that point in time.
At that point?
Yeah, thinking about it, I was just like, wow, dude, like, put my mom on timeout? Are you kidding me? Like, that's so immature. Constantly just letting work and other people consume my life, not caring about myself. And caring about yourself and putting yourself first is not selfish, because you can't be available for anything or anyone else unless you're happy. And I wasn't happy. And that's a real thing. Like, and it took that, oh, sorry, my ankle hurts. It took,
sorry.
My fuchsia hurts. It took that happening for me to really take that all into consideration, you know? And so I see things differently. I love so much harder. Like, I was so stubborn before. Like, relationships didn't faze me. You know, breakups didn't faze me. I didn't cry. I didn't care. Nobody mattered to me. I had my friends and my family, you know, and that's all so different now. Like, I mean, you know, you see me talk to other people. Like, I genuinely care so much about every person around me. I don't care if we just met, if we're homies, if I'm constantly asking people, like, how are you? Why are you not okay? Like, I get after it because I actually care. I try to remember so much about so many people. I have people, even people in my industry, who have openly told me, I just think you're attractive, you know, that's all I care about, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I never realized, like, you were this deep-ass person. And so that hits pretty hard, too, because before my accident, I was like that, too. I would just judge people, like, what they're wearing, what they look like. And now it's just like, I want to know who you are, man. Like, I want to know everything. We're going to connect some way, somehow. Like, I'm going to figure it out. Because I truly believe that everyone that I come in contact with is for a reason now. And, you know, I was saying earlier, San Diego has always been where I wanted to go. So once I proved to my parents I could be on my own and work and, you know, drive my car, my mom was like, go. Whatever you need, go. We got you. So I came out to San Diego and I made a promise to myself before I moved out here. I was going to come out here with an open mind, an open heart, and open arms to everyone and everything. And I have built some of the most amazing relationships, friendships. I'm just constantly surrounded by good people. And I think people are starting to see, like, that positive energy. I feel like I meet a lot of people on purpose who are living and thinking the way I was before my aneurysm and see how I act now, and they're like, damn, like, I could be happy. I don't even have anything to complain about. This girl almost died and she's like the happiest person on the planet. But what I try to get at to people is, like, you shouldn't have to almost die to be like that.
Of course.
You just have to learn to put yourself first sometimes. It's okay to be selfish, because ultimately at the end of the day, if you yourself are not happy and you're so worried about making everyone else happy, how are you going to make them happy when you're not? You can't. You physically can't do it. So yeah, I look at life way differently. Like, I'm super thankful every day. I'm super happy every day. I'm a human being. Emotions happen, things happen that I don't agree with. Every day is not a great day for me. But I definitely live life with an open heart now.
Good.
Like, I'm super vulnerable. I never was before. I'm like super open to, like, love and, like, being in a relationship and, like, sharing a life with someone, because shit, dude, like, it's crazy to think about not being here anymore and not experiencing that. So yeah, I'm just like, I'm kind of next level. Like, I could be super annoying and, like, really overly affectionate with my friends, but they get it. Like, at the end of the day, they know they could come to me. My nickname is Mom, which I think is funny. Cause I love everyone's, what do I say? I love you so hard.
All right.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. Everyone thinks it's funny. So it's like an ongoing thing now. Like, I drove up to Temecula last night for my mom's birthday, and my old roommate Richie was bartending at the place that we were at, and I hung out with him for a little bit. And every time I see this kid, like, I've known him for the whole time I lived in Temecula, for like almost 10 years. Every time I see this kid, every time, Brynn, I'm so fucking proud of you. I can't even get over the person that you are. I can't believe we're friends. Like, it's the best feeling, you know? And I love it. And I just think it's so cool to, like, have that impact on someone. And I'm always the one that's like, text me when you get home, you know?
Yeah.
You better don't make me share the location with you. And so I text Richie when I got home. I text him and my mom and my friend Ashley. And Richie texts me back, I love you so fucking hard. And, like, I just love that shit, dude. Like, it does mean a lot to me. It's not a cliche thing. It's not like, oh, love you. It's like, no, dude, I fuck with you so hard. Like, these people have seen me before, during, and after. And, like, it's not a game, dude. Like, life is so important. Life is so beautiful. And people just take it for granted. And I'm not going to walk around like, you should listen to me. I had a brain aneurysm. It's like, if you want to listen to me, cool, because I only want to help you. Like, my goal is to ultimately just help people at this point. I want to share my point of view. I want to share how I see things. I want to give advice. I really would like to help depressed people the most, because I never dealt with depression until I had a brain aneurysm, and I don't take antidepressants. I don't take medication. I don't take pills. I get myself out of it on my own. And like, if you can't help yourself, again, nobody else can help you. So
how do you pull yourself out of a depression?
I have a few different things that I do. I know a lot of people, I'm not saying my depression is the same as everyone else's, but there's been a few times where wanting to kill myself has been the top of my list, probably like 4 days in a row out of a week.
Jesus Christ. Is that still to this day?
Yeah, all the time.
What?
For no reason. For no reason. Like, I could come in here, walking Dexter, come see you guys, say hi, get a coffee, walk back home and be like, I wish I wasn't here anymore. For no, like, it trips me out, because I'm not having bad thoughts. It's just shit that pops in my head. And the thing that gets me out is talking myself through it. And not everyone can do that. So I'm not trying to preach that that's like the way to go about it, but I'm just saying, for me personally, I have to sit there and really think about it. And every time I think about it, I think about what the doctor said to me. If you left, would you be okay with how you left it? No. And the answer is always going to be no.
Yeah.
So it's like, I really have to sit there, and it's not easy. I have to concentrate, but I'm so much more terrified of taking medication and being taken control over, you know. I don't want to rely on, I didn't rely on medication for my recovery, and I'm not going to rely on it for depression. I'm not. Like, I did it, and I'm allowed to pat myself on the back and give myself credit. Like, I had help. Obviously, I had support of everyone around me, but at the end of the day, I fucking did it. I said I was going to walk, and I fucking walked. I said I was going to run a bar program, and I ran a bar program. Like, I did all of that shit because I wanted to do it. It was all mental for me. So when I have those thoughts and I'm depressed and I'm sad and, you know, I want some like emotional connection or some comforting and touching, you know, I just talk about it. I don't care if I talk to myself. I don't care if I talk out loud. I don't care if I talk in my head. It has to be talked about. Like, you can't bottle it up. Like, one thing people cannot do is bottle shit up, because that's when those thoughts get deeper. And it gets to the point where people are like, all right, I haven't said anything for a year now. Nobody's paying attention to me. Yeah, no one's paying attention to you because you're not fucking talking about it. So you bottled it up to the point where you put a cap on the bottle, and that was it. That shit sucks. And it's scary to think about.
It's going to pop just like that aneurysm.
Exactly.
Right there. Yep.
And it's like, I really don't talk to people about my depression, because I don't want the pity party. There's so many people in this world that suffer from depression, and it's a real thing. And I remember my sister, she suffered from it for a long time, and anxiety. And I used to get mad at her, like, bitch, you just want attention. What's wrong with you?
It's interesting you say that, because I've been having this conversation about anxiety a lot, and I don't have anxiety myself, so I don't understand it fully. It's
different. I was super fine when I was younger. For me, my anxiety really comes and hits hard when I'm around big crowds of people. So, like, you saw me on New Year's Eve at Fernside.
Yeah.
When I finally told that guy to get the fuck out of my way.
Dude, yeah, that was so crazy. Everybody's like, did you see did you see Brynn just tell that dude to get the fuck out of his way? I was like, I did. I was like, that was crazy. I was like, it was so savage, because you had this whole fucking...
I had that whole tray of beer.
Yeah. But they were like the little mini Miller High Lives.
There was like 30 of them on the tray, and this dude thought it was funny to keep getting in my way. And there were so many people there, and it's like, that's such an uncomfortable situation for me. But if I don't put myself in those situations, I'll never beat them. Yeah. So there was just so many people, and like, I was getting tunnel vision. I was sweating.
Yeah. Did you barely? I said, "What up, Brynn?" You're like, You didn't even acknowledge me. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, all right. But I was like, I know you're working, so it's all good.
It was a test for me. And Shane even said, if you don't want to work that section, you don't have to work that section. I was like, no, I need to work this section.
You want to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, I need to, because it's going to happen your whole life. You can't always run from shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I tried to run from a bunch of shit, and the aneurysm was like, not today, bitch. Like, you gonna learn
You're going to learn today. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, so that really taught me, like, you
have to really go through it.
Yeah, you're never gonna learn, and it's like, I did that and I got through it, and finally that guy pushed the wrong button. I was like, get the fuck out of my way. Like, you're being rude at this point. I have anxiety so bad and you're picking on me. Like, fuck you.
Dude, there's a quote Nipsey Hussle said. He says, "No, I don't want your help." R.I.P. He's like, "No, I don't want your help. That's not why I make music." He said, "I just need to suffer through this." No, I don't need your help. That's what he says. He says, "No, I don't need your help. Just let me suffer through this." Dude, when I heard that lyric, it made an impact on me, because I felt like he was like talking to me, because at the time I needed to hear some shit like that, because like I have not had a brain aneurysm, but
still,
when you
people
go through shit,
yeah,
all you are, especially if you're by yourself and it's just an echo in your fucking head. And honestly, like, there's a lot of chatter that can go on.
Yeah, because you're not talking about it.
There's not, I might talk about certain things to certain people, some homies, but like,
but what I'm saying is you could talk to yourself about it. I will literally sit in my room and talk out loud.
Dude, and I do that shit too.
But you hear, it's just going on in your head, it's just going to go in rotation in your head. If you talk out loud, you hear yourself and you're like, damn, dude, you sound dumb as shit. How dare you?
But you talk, dude, I've talked about this on the show before. It's like, I talk shit to myself sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, nah, fool, like, what the fuck you talking about? And then you're sitting there, you're like, and then I think about it in my head. I'm like, what the fuck? You're stupid. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, and you have these crazy thoughts in your head that just bounces back and forth in between that fucking little dome of yours. And it's like, what the fuck, dude?
It's true. Then I just wish more people would be more open-minded to being vulnerable with themselves, especially, because it's okay. I was shy. I was such a judgmental little asshole, dude. Like, it is not even funny. And I'm not okay with the person that I was before. And everyone's always like, oh, I'm so sorry you're going through what you're going through. I'm not. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. Mm-hmm. I am the best me that I could possibly be at this point in time right now. I'll never be the same. Like, I don't have the strength I had before. I stutter sometimes. My memory is still not that good. Like, just today, someone at work was singing a song and was like, what movie is that from? 1995. I was like, I don't fucking know, dude. Like, that's not important to me. And then
that aggressive, you could be like, I don't know.
No, we have that, we have that kind of relationship.
Okay.
But then immediately he's like, oh yeah, right, because you can't remember shit. And I was like,
ooh,
yeah, but
try to keep the gloves up.
Yeah,
come on, it's fucked up.
I was just, I was like, yeah. So why are you trying to throw that stupid shit in my face?
Throw no shade.
And then
Stop
he was like, Pulp Fiction. I was like, you sing one song that was in the background. That wasn't even like a main song on the movie, and you're upset because I don't know it. I was like, you're a fucking nerd for knowing it.
Who is this that you're talking about?
One of my bosses.
Oh, okay. Don't say their name.
I'm not gonna say his name. Yeah. He's new anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
But I was just like, that's funny. You really think out of everything I would remember, I was gonna remember a song that wasn't. I don't even think this song would be on the soundtrack. That's how much is not involved in the movie. So I was really irritated at that point.
Oh, so he's like a movie buff.
No, he's just a fucking nerd.
Oh.
So anyway, he's cool though. Like
either way,
it's whatever. But I'm not gonna be the same person. But those are the things that are not gonna be the same, and I'm okay with that. I would much rather not remember a song from a movie. I would much rather stutter. I would much rather like not have the physical strength I had before, because the strength I have now is mentally and emotionally, and it is like it makes up for all that. Like, it's crazy. I honestly can't explain it to you. I just wish people could feel as good as I do. So
do you think, essentially you have your aneurysm coiled?
Okay.
Does it happen where those can become uncoiled?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying. And I've heard stories already about it happening to people. even though they're going and getting their head scanned, it's not showing up in the scan. That's terrifying.
How is it that it becomes uncoiled? Do you know?
I'm actually not 100% sure. That's not anything I've wanted to ask. Wanted to ask any doctors. I guess I should know essentially, but at the end of the day, the way that I look at it is if it comes undone and shit happens, I can't stop it from doing it anyways. So whatever happens is meant to happen. It's like people are always like, oh, that sucks. You have to walk around with that thought process. It's like, I don't have to walk around with that thought process. You can get hit by a car and die just as fast as I can have an aneurysm explode. So, you know, it's like, it's its own little ticking time bomb, but everyone's life is a ticking time bomb. I had this conversation with baby daddy the other day.
Baby daddy?
Remember Scott? He FaceTimed me and I was like, baby daddy.
God. That's right.
No, we were talking about we were kind of talking about what we were going to share today. And we were talking about stuff like that. And at the end of the day, like, you don't have control of your destiny. Mm-hmm. You really don't. You could get up one morning and be like, oh, I'm going to do this, 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 and this. Or you can have a 5-year plan and not make it to 5 years because 5 minutes later you get hit by a goddamn car. You don't know. Mm-hmm. You literally don't know. You can't plan it. You can't control it. Same with an aneurysm. Like, let it go. If I sat around all day and was like, oh my God, I could die in 2 seconds. Like, yeah, you know, my coil's going to come out. What kind of life would that be?
Well, what about this now? The question that comes to mind for me is, do you believe in afterlife? Do you believe in like heaven or hell?
Can I go to the restroom before I answer this?
Yeah. Okay. Do your thing.
Sorry.
Yeah, do your thing.
That beer's going right through me.
It's all good, G. Do your thing.
That's also a tough subject for me.
Okay.
In a good way.
In a good way. Okay, this is perfect. Dude. Ray. Do you want to come and hop on the mic? Come and hop on the mic. We could definitely. I'll this is like when young Jamie talks to, or when Joe Rogan talks to young Jamie. He's like, I gotta piss so bad. But it's like, hey, Jamie. So what's up?
Yeah, so what's going on?
So Ray's for all y'all, Brynn's in the bathroom. Ray, Raul Lopez. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey.
Cheers.
Yo,
oh wait, that's not even your beer.
It's Brynn's. I'll just move it over.
Yeah. So you're doing some behind the scenes today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just catching some clips. Little
B-roll,
you know?
helping out because you've been helping out with some Caffeine and Green.
This angle, that angle. You know,
dude,
all the angles.
What do you think about the interview so far?
Yeah, man, it's good stuff. Brynn's got it's a nice little roller coaster there, you know?
Dude, it's insane.
It's a unique story. She's got a interesting background. You know, kind of hang on every word there.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
I felt the exact same way.
Yeah.
Dude, you just got your pops.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I guess I guess in regards to what Brynn was just saying a minute ago, like, you never really know, right?
You never know.
So last night, my dad's car's parked, you know, right out in front of his house. He goes into the car, he's grabbing some paperwork, hops on his phone, he's having a call. And this guy, just out of nowhere, slams into the back of his car, drives him up onto the sidewalk. Luckily, he's all right. No injuries. He's doing okay.
Thank God.
The car is still sitting on the sidewalk right now. I don't know why the cops didn't tow it away.
Just left it there?
Bro, he's like, hey, man, can you move the car? And I was like, yeah, can you move this other guy's car? Couldn't move it. So he's like, well, when the tow truck comes, we'll have him pull the car off the sidewalk as well. It's never happened.
What the fuck? Well, thank God everything's okay. This is just insane how, like, shit just happens like this. Yeah. You never know.
All right, Brynn's back.
All right, Brynn's
back.
Here we go. All right. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Brynn is back. All right, are you ready to answer this deep question, miss?
More prepared.
More prepared? For what? Put it
Not
right below right here.
Not taking a bathroom break?
Yeah, that was crazy. You weren't even drinking your beer, though.
Well, I had a whole can of soda and it's
You had a whole what? A whole can of soda?
And a shot of tequila.
And a shot of tequila. Yes, that's right. Dude, that sucks about your foot.
I know. I feel like an old lady. I got to work tomorrow, too. Ooh.
Boss up.
All right.
All right, so the question is that, you know, based on that question of if it all ended today, would you be happy with how you left it? But, you're, living your life. You never know. That's what you've been talking about. Do you believe in something after?
I believe there's an afterlife. I don't believe there's a heaven or a hell.
Okay.
I just feel like I'm spiritual.
Yeah.
So I firmly believe that whatever it is that you truly believe, like if you're super true to it, that will happen for you.
Yep.
If that's what you feel. I feel like I'm going to be a free soul. I feel like I'm going to roam an afterlife. I'm going to have an afterlife. I don't know where it's going to be. I know it's not going to suck because I don't truly believe it will.
It's not going to suck.
Yeah, it's not going to suck. I'm a good person. I don't feel like I'm going to have a bad afterlife. I've done a lot of good things in my life, and I will continue to do those things. But I respect everyone else's, some people think you're going to go to heaven. Some people think you're going to go to hell. That's cool. Do you?
It's cool. Do you?
But I'm more spiritual. I definitely believe in the universe. A lot of people believe in karma. It's a thing, but yeah, I'm more spiritual than anything. I don't really get into the religious things of telling people where they're going to go or not. I just know where I'm going to go, and I just hope that they know they're going to go somewhere good as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely, I believe more in the universe and stuff, but also at the same time, I believe in karma. Heavy into karma. Like, dude, if you do shitty things are going to happen to you, period. Like, you're going to go through some shit, you're going to do your things, but at the same time, I used to think that there might be a heaven, being like Mexican and raised Catholic and doing these things. But
100%.
At the same time, as I got older, I realized, I think of it more as in like dude, we're just like every other thing on this planet. Just because we can think complex thoughts does not make us any different than any type of animal that's cruising the street or like a fucking cockroach.
100%.
So it's like, those things die. Do you think they have a heaven or like anything like that? It's like, dude, we're all like this, we're just all living on this fucking planet. We're just like everything else. I feel like when you're done, you're done. It's a wrap. It's a game. But I do believe in energy. So their energy might carry on, but like
100%.
This time as Brynn, my time as Con, like that's a wrap, game over.
Energy for sure. That's like where my spirituality comes in. But at the end of the day, my argument, not that I need one, but when I get pushed by religion pretty often, or I used to at least, at the end of the day, prove it.
Prove what?
How do you know there's a heaven or a hell?
You know what's funny? On that note, I hella think about this. The one thing in religion is I've never believed in it.
Nobody can answer your questions.
You can't prove shit.
You can't.
Like, you can't. There's just no way.
Nobody can answer your questions.
What you can prove is energy.
100%.
That's why I think that's that shit is real.
Yeah. And that's another thing, going back to being spiritual about it, is like, for me personally, I'm not speaking for all people that are spiritual. I think you definitely get to choose your after destiny. So it's like,
how's that?
Just saying what you want, just really believing what you're going to have in the afterlife, And I'm not saying that that's actually what's going to happen, because again, I can't prove it, but I'm a firm believer of energy. I've had some things happen in my life before where I'm just like, yo, so-and-so's checking up on me, like just weird stuff like that. So
like moments you feel like somebody who might have moved on is looking down on you type of thing?
For sure. Just like little hints, little notes here and there. And I just think that's so dope. And that's not everyone thinks that. So at the end of the day, prove it. Tell me whatever you want to tell me. You could tell me what's right and what's wrong. If you can't prove it, again, I have my own opinion. Leave me to it.
Yeah. I mean, there's nobody saying that you're wrong at all.
No, for sure. And there's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
But just like you, I came from a slightly religious background. So
yeah.
So it's just like, it was always money involved, and always, you got to do this, you got to do that. And it's like, that's so crazy, because I'm out here living my best goddamn life, and I'm not doing any of those things.
Doing what things?
no offense, I'm not like tithing and like I'm not having to share my paychecks with people or share my finances or like, you know, just a bunch of organized, we'll call it organized stuff. I don't do any of that stuff, and I'm not considered a bad person. I don't feel like I'm in hell. At the end of the day, I'm a good person. I respect everyone and what everyone else wants and needs.
Yeah.
And I will never push any of that on anyone.
Yeah, dude, if you're religious, it's all good. Do your thing.
Yeah, do your
like,
thing.
yo, there's nothing wrong with that. Every now and then, I'll check in with the big person out there. Just like, yo,
for sure.
Because dude, even though I'm not religious anymore, I still like, as out of habit, like when I get on an airplane, right before I stop on the airplane, I cross myself.
100%.
Like, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, man, and then I just say a little prayer real quick. And even though I don't go to church, I haven't been to church probably since I was like 7, because I was ingrained with that shit, like praying every night, doing these things. It's like out of habit. I have to do it because it's like a tick.
I call that spiritual respect. I still have times where I find myself praying, or there's like certain pastors that I used to listen to that just sometimes I just want to hear the good word and not pay for it, so I YouTube it. I'm serious.
I want to hear the good word. I like it. That's tight. That's not a bad thing.
And you know, and there's times where I have listened to whatever word they were for some reason. That particular time and that particular day and that particular word was what I needed to hear. Like snaps me back into it. So, you know, it's whatever. I do believe there's an afterlife. Yes.
Interesting. So now that you do these things, you essentially are just living your life like, yo, just like everybody else, with a little bit extra. Just a little bit.
I'm so extra.
No, I mean, just like a little bit extra in the sense where it's like, yeah, I mean, you'd never know. I mean, just yesterday they had a press conference at your spot right there about one of the owners who got hit by a car. She was walking across the street. I watched the video.
She's the reason we have a stop sign right there.
But the thing that's crazy about that is that the stop sign's right there, but the dude came from over there. He came like, going west on Grape.
But they still have a stop sign on this side.
Yeah, but he rolled through it.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like, my question is, why do they put a stop sign on the point where, like, if you look in the video, she like waves at the dude who stopped for her. Like the guy where the stop sign is now stopped. It was the dude on coming west on Grape that didn't stop. He never at any point, he like basically California stopped right through that. Like didn't even California stop. He rolled and then hit her. And it's like,
I haven't seen the video.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Dude, I seen it. I seen the uncensored version. It's fucking crazy. She ends up like, I wish we had like a camera right here. You could just watch it. But like one of the owner or whatever, she gets in the crosswalk coming from Fernside. She looks to her left. She acknowledges the fucking driver, like throws like a thank you, you know, like a hi, like a hand or whatever. She walks, and then she's walking in the crosswalk. She looks down, and then this whole time, if you look up in the top right corner of the camera, the fucking car's rolling, and then boom, like is full on making a left-hand turn, and here she is. And then right at the last second, dude, she didn't even notice it was coming. She looked down.
That's crazy.
And then boom, just fucking like straight to the hip.
That's
flew
crazy.
Like hit the thing, and then boom, 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 and then fell out. And then everybody comes out of Fernside with the sliding glass doors. They like all run out because it's a security camera, right? They all run out, and then one dude runs in the hit and run because the car took off.
I did not know that either.
Yeah, dude, it was a fucking hit and run right here.
Damn, what a piece of shit.
Dude, and that's why it's like it's hella funny because Liav like will always walk across the street and she'll be like, use the crosswalk, and I'll just walk straight across. I'm like, dude, I look both ways because I feel like when you don't use the crosswalk, it's okay. When you're in the crosswalk, people just be flying
It's
fucking
dangerous.
through, bro.
We put up, I don't know if you ever saw that little green kid. That,
Yeah,
like,
slow
caution
down.
kid.
Yeah, slow down.
So we put that there because even with the stop sign there, people don't stop and they speed through that little turn.
Super hard.
So these kids, sorry, these little asshole teenagers flew through there. And Shane was like, yo, you guys need to calm down. Like, there's pedestrians and there's children in this neighborhood. There's like 4 schools around here. Like, you're going to hurt somebody. They came back and stole our little sign.
Oh, fuckers.
I know.
Dude, straight, that's so whack.
I know.
That's so whack. Come on, guys. Like, it's everybody's neighborhood.
It really, and everyone has so much respect for each other in this neighborhood.
Dude,
like,
it's a really a nice community in this, especially in this little pocket.
Oh, South Park is the best.
Yeah, South Park's pretty
When
buggy.
I always tell people where I live, they're like, where's that? I was like, doesn't even matter because I don't want you coming there. Leave us alone. We're happy.
Dude, I remember where I was. I was with Ray Ray this past weekend, and there was like a sticker. I think we were down in like Azalea Park or something like that. kind of in the hood, and there's a sticker, and it had like the California flag, and instead of like it said California Republic, it says "Don't come here."
Oh shit. Shit.
It was just hella funny. I was like, damn, that's pretty
Don't
pretty tight.
come here.
Yeah, don't come here. Well, dude, I really like to hear that you're doing these positive things. I mean, is there anything, you've opened up a couple bars, now you're at Fernside, you're pretty much, you run it there. Everybody in the neighborhood here knows you. I know several people who are like, oh, you know Brynn? It's like, yeah.
Aw,
like, fuck,
cute.
come on now. Like, yeah, I know Brynn. Like, she's right across the street. Literally, right across the street.
I flip him off every day. I'm just kidding.
Dude, I was telling somebody about that. I was like, dude, when I first met you, I was with Paul.
Mm-hmm.
And then you like, when I wasn't with Paul and I'd be coming in, you'd be like, hey, do you know Paul? And then you'd flip me off. And I was like, after a couple times, I was like, hey.
Don't do that.
I was like, can you just not do that, please? Because I was like, where I come from, I was like, when you flip somebody off, that shit is not tight, and I don't play that way with females.
That shit is not tight.
Like, I just like, I have a respect thing
for
here,
sure,
so it's
sure.
like, and then after that, and Jess is right there. After I said that, I was like, it was always
Look at how
you were
ugly Dee Dee is.
What are you talking about? For you guys who can't see, there's the homie Jessa. It's her roommate, and she has her fucking dogs right outside the window right here. Dude,
Hi,
that's
Dex.
chill.
Oh, he's so cute.
No, but
Wild
like
out.
that was like ever since then it's been like, you've been super nice. So it's like every time it's like, yo, what's up? Ah! Like the homie, because that's how I roll. I don't like, oh fuck you. Like, no. You're my homie. Like, how you doing, G? All right, you cool? Like, all right, you chilling today? All right, good. I'm glad to see you. Like dap you up type shit.
I'm
like,
not funky barista. Don't flip me off.
dude, I don't understand that humor, especially with like my friends, and then and furthermore females, like girls, women, anybody. Like I was raised by my mother. Like my mother is fucking like mad respect. My grandmother, mad respect. Like that's, you just pay respects. Like I don't like nah. If I'm not unless I'm giving you the finger, like I have to be pissed off at you. Like I have no other way to like get my anger across. It's like fucking.
I'm usually pretty mad at Paul though. You hear the shit that he says to me?
I don't. I
one
choose.
time.
I choose to.
I'm not gonna say what he said, but that one time was very inappropriate.
No comment. I plead the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, yeah. I mean,
It's
nah.
fine. It's
That's
fine.
but that was like the time when I was just like, okay, no, there's like no flipping off. Like, no flipping off. I'm just not
just
about
be
that.
nice.
Just be nice. Before we're coming up here. We got a couple more minutes. You were telling me about your parents being gangsters. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. I don't know. I can't really share too much on my mom, but my birth mom, I can.
Your birth mom was a gangster.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I
okay.
could talk about birth mom.
Talk about birth mom.
So she oh man, I don't even know. I feel bad putting her on blast.
You don't have to talk about it. We can just move on.
No, they essentially, my mom and my birth mom were involved in a certain lifestyle at some point in time. They did a lot of things. A lot of things happened. I was around a lot of things, especially at a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
My little sister's dad was heavily involved in the whole Slauson area, which
Yeah. I've
you
been
know,
up there.
It's crazy, especially with like the whole Nipsey Hussle thing. Like growing up, and then what happened to him was like deja vu for me, which would blow people's minds seeing me and what I look like and like how I live my lifestyle. I can tell you one story because I won't say anyone's names, but I remember we lived in LA. We lived near Slauson, and
You live near Slauson.
yeah,
Yeah.
we had a townhouse. I lived with my birth mom, my little sister's dad, who was gang related, R.I.P. We lived in a townhouse. Definitely some illegal things going on.
Mm-hmm.
I was 5 years old. They used to have pit bull fights in our backyard.
What?
They used to feed the dogs gunpowder and Tabasco sauce to make them crazy. There used to
feed them gunpowder and Tabasco sauce? That's it. No kibble?
No. Like, it would make them it makes you angry. And they die, obviously, because it's like not good for them. Anyway,
gnarly.
my little sister's dad was, at this point in time, my birth mom, I don't want to say she was completely out of the lifestyle, but she was pregnant, so she was like taking it easy. He was African American, definitely doing his thing. There's a lot of activity. Our house was the spot for activity. And you have to think, at the time, I didn't know this. I was 5 years old. And I remember this one time, my stepdad had cheated on my birth mom with someone else from a different gang. And this bitch was so mad. She was so mad that my birth mom was pregnant at the time because she had fallen in love with my stepdad. And he went to work. His like actual job, he was a bouncer at this place in in Hollywood called the Athletic Club. It was like this big ass 2-story nightclub. It was fucking crazy. So that was like his actual job. So he had something on paper. And so I was at the house. I was in my room. My birth mom's pregnant with my little sister. She's chilling. This crazy bitch, I'm not going to say her name, from a different gang, also not going to say what it's affiliated with. Her and 4 of her friends show up to the house to jump my birth mom because they want to kill the baby. Because this is how jealous this bitch was. But also, it was like gang on gang, you know what I'm saying? Like
gang gang.
Yeah, but this was like female gang. They're savage.
Yeah.
So they show up. I come out of my room because I hear screaming. These ladies are so crazy. You know what? Honestly, this bitch was a pussy because if she was... No, now that I'm thinking about it, if you were really a gangster, you would have just stabbed her and killed her. You would have killed her and the goddamn baby. Like, she did some pussy shit. So first of all, you show up to beat up a pregnant woman with 4 other people. 1, you're a pussy.
Yeah.
God, I want to say their gang name so bad.
No,
I'm not, but I'm just so irritated.
Don't say it.
2, they pushed an entertainment center onto her stomach.
What?
They pushed an entertainment center onto her stomach. I watched it happen.
So they got in.
They got in the house, pinned her down, pushed an entertainment center onto her stomach. She immediately started bleeding. I started freaking out. I'm fucking 5 years old.
Whoa.
When I start crying, they leave. They're like, oh shit, there's a kid here. We're out. They bounce. So I call 911.
You called 911?
Fuck yeah, I did. I had a list of phone numbers next to my bed. My grandma Jackie, my grandma Blackstone, my birth father, 911. That was it. And then my stepdad's mom. She didn't live with us at the time, but I had her number too, but I wasn't really close with her. I remember I called 911 and my birth mom was so mad at me. She was like, you should have called your grandma. And I was like, the fuck?
The fuck?
You're bleeding and you think grandma don't have a Band-Aid for this.
Yeah, yeah.
I called 911. They came. It was a whole fiasco. I was in trouble. I didn't understand why I was in trouble. So she was fine. My little sister's fine. She's a little crazy, but she's good. She's chilling. Nothing happened. Baby didn't die. Birth mom didn't die. Like, there were some complications at birth, but everything was good. And I remember she got home from the hospital and she was flipping out on my stepdad when he got home.
Yeah, I would definitely think so.
And he pulled a gun out.
What?
He pulled a gun out.
On her?
He did, right in front of me.
This is after she has already gone through this and gone back home?
Yes. He was mad at me for calling the cops because nobody wants the cops involved.
Yeah.
On either side.
Okay.
I was 5, whatever.
They're actually mad at you.
He was mad at me.
You're a 5-year-old kid. You don't know any better. What the fuck?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
This is not the first time any of this kind of stuff happened. He pulled a gun out and he pointed at me and told me to shut the fuck up. If I cried one more tear, he would shoot my mom's head off in front of me.
Was this like a 9mm or something like
I
that?
don't even
remember?
know.
It was just a gun.
It was a handgun.
Jesus Christ.
Then he put the gun to her stomach.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yeah, he whispered something in her ear. I don't know what it was. But when he put the gun to her stomach, I started crying because I'm a little kid. I think this is my baby. I'm just so excited to have this little sister. And he pointed the gun back in my face, and he said, one more fucking peep out of you, and I will fucking blow us all up. I took a deep breath and held it. I didn't even make a sound. I didn't even blink my eyes. I was so terrified. So they go in their room. They're yelling. They're having a whole fucking yelling match, whatever. The chick who jumped my birth mom never actually left the picture. So my birth mom and my stepdad split up. She moved to this shitty little apartment off of Balboa because my grandparents lived off of Balboa in the valley. My little sister's born at this point. We're in the living room. I'm playing with her. She's fucking baby, like can't even crawl yet.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, whole fucking house gets shot up. 5 years old, leaping over my little sister, trying to save her life.
Shot up?
Yes. They busted every window in the house with guns.
Heavy.
Drive-by. It wasn't like they shot it up trying to get inside. They just drove by and made sure every fucking window was busted out in hopes that somebody was standing in front of that window. We were literally like, bullets went through the top of the couch. I was on the carpet with my little sister over her. If we were on the couch, we would have died. They would have snapped us. Like, that's just a
that's just like a little piece.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you've had a complicated life. That's insane.
No, it's cool. I just think
No, it's cool.
No, honestly, it's
I know.
just those are the moments that I think about when I think about my aneurysm.
That's what you think about?
I think about those things because like I could have went so many different times. You know what I'm saying? And I have so much power in me. I'm so powerful, and I'm here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
There's been, like I said, that's just a little sliver of things that should have killed me, and it didn't. An aneurysm didn't even kill me. Like.
So then my question to you is, do you think that you have a bigger purpose?
I have a way bigger purpose.
What do you think that is?
I think my purpose is to help people. I'm here to make a difference. I'm here to help people not be depressed. Not go through things alone. I'm here to help people, to guide people, to be a purpose for them, to let them know that they're a purpose. I guess we'll see. Who knows? Maybe I'll become the president. We don't. Just kidding.
You don't want that job.
I don't. I
really
don't.
That job. Nah.
I don't do politics.
Yeah.
No, I can't pinpoint what my purpose is, but I definitely know that I'm meant to help people. And if I could say what's most satisfying to me right now is helping people, like without a doubt. Anytime. Yeah. I don't care if it's words, a hug, a handshake. You know, I'd prefer it not to be money, but if it had to be money and I have it, if it's mine, it's yours. Go for it.
What the fuck? Damn, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Gee.
It's all right.
All right. Well, do you have any big plans for the future? Do you have anything cooking up right now?
Yeah, I mean, it probably sounds cliche, but I'd like to get married and have a kid. I don't think I can physically have my own kid just because it's too much pressure for my aneurysm. But I'd like to adopt. I'd essentially like to move out of California and open my own bar. Nothing fancy, just like a little neighborhood dive bar. I'm honestly not trying to be rich. I want to be comfortable and happy. But yeah, probably like the all-American dreams, have a little family.
All right.
I don't know if I want a white picket fence. I'd rather have a condo on the beach, but
there you go. You
know, can't always be picky.
It's 2020. Let's be real here.
I know. But yeah, I love California. It's my home.
West Coast.
It's amazing, but in all reality, I'm not going to be comfortable here financially. So
You always got to hustle.
Yeah, and I want to chill. I deserve to chill.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, pressure does not sound like it's the good thing for you. It
yeah,
definitely sounds
so
like chill would be ideal.
I know it's going to happen. I don't want to say I'd like for it to happen, but it's going to be nice to settle down with my best friend and have a life together and like actually do shit that I love to do. I like working in bars because I make people happy when I'm there. It doesn't even have to be a bar, just in the hospitality industry in general. So anything that I can own and operate on my own and call it mine that's benefiting other people is all that I really want. To me, that's wealthy. Like, we could get those fancy phone cases you got.
Yeah, my fake.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I love it.
No,
I love
like
it.
I could walk around with $1 million in my bank account, but you can't actually buy your happiness. Like you
So would
can't.
you say you want to be rich in everything but money?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely learned like I could work my ass off forever and ever and make no memories and be old and have a mansion. But
But if
can't
you're
tell
alone,
you
yeah.
can't tell you any stories about my life because I worked the whole time to get in that mansion to have nobody there with me. I'd rather be like, yo, check out my sick apartment. I got turntable. Just kidding. I'd rather have a chill little pad and be able to sit in a room with people who are well traveled and well versed and all have stories that are relatable and have things like, yo, I've never been to Thailand. You're going there. Cool, homie. I've been there. Let me tell you, you know.
Yeah, let me give you some spots.
Yeah, so like that's what I want. To me, that's wealthy.
Yeah.
Like I'd
That's legit
rather
as fuck.
I'd rather travel with $100 in my bank account than work my ass off to have $100,000 to buy a car that I don't give a fuck about.
That's a good point. I would rather, I mean, but it's a $100,000 car. Fuck all that. Let's go fucking travel the world. Let's go
That's what
do
I'm
that.
saying.
Yeah.
Like people make their money and choose to spend it how they want. I'm just saying personally, that's not where my happiness stems from. Like,
I'm trying to go to Africa.
that'd be tight.
Yeah.
Trying to ride some elephants.
I'm trying to ride some elephants. Trying to drink some coffee.
Essentially, I really, my family is so important to me, and just seeing how far all of my parents have come. Like, my birth mom met the love of her life. She's married. She lives in Texas. Like, she's got her little family going. She totally respects my life and my
Texas?
family. She's in
Sick.
Texas. My dad and my stepmom, they're in the Antelope Valley still. Place sucks. But they own a home. They have a beautiful house, big ass 5-bedroom house, room for all the grandkids. Like, they're doing their thing. My mom and my stepdad are my biggest inspiration. Like, the love they have for each other is so crazy. And my mom's got money. Like, she's a hustler. She works her ass off. She's got money and she lives very humbly. And her and my stepdad give so much back to so many people. Like, I can't even tell you the amount of money this woman has, like, donated and just given free. Always opening her house to everyone. Always having parties for people just because. Like, she just has such a big heart and she has so much love. And it's like, at the end of the day, like, I drove to Temecula to see her for her birthday yesterday and she cried.
Tight.
She didn't cry when I gave her her present, even though it was sick. She cried because I was there. And that's what I'm saying. Like,
She wanted to see you.
yeah, you can't put a price on that. Like, there's no amount of money in the world. So, like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, I just want to love, man. I want my little family.
All right.
Where you at, hubby?
Dude, go out there and get it. Put it out there.
Yeah, it's in the works.
Yeah. You got to move to the East Coast, yeah? That's where you said hubby's at?
He's not hubby yet, but
Baby daddy.
he's baby daddy for sure.
Yeah.
He's in Florida. We'll see.
There you go.
He's becoming one of my best friends, which is very important to me because we are connecting a lot mentally and emotionally right now, and it has nothing to do with physical, which is also crazy and super cool at the same time because I feel like when the physical part does come, that'll really, like, make or break it. Yeah, it's cool to, like, really get to know someone on an everyday basis just based off communication. So we'll see. He's going to come to San Diego. I'll bring him 7 Seas for some coffee.
Okay.
And then I'll get your opinion.
All right. My opinion on what?
Just in general.
On him?
Yeah. Like,
okay.
Like his swag.
He's gonna listen to this, isn't he?
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know you, homie. Sorry. I want you to be put on the spot.
Scott.
Scott. Oh, yo, Scott. Come through. I'll get you some coffee, G. That's like, if he knows though, like, oh, he's gonna be like, what the fuck?
No, he's really cool. He's really cool. I'm enjoying it mostly because there's no expectations, especially with my mindset. Like I said, whatever happens, happens. I cannot control it.
Yeah.
I'm not forcing anything. If it's meant to be, it'll be. If it's not, tight. I just got another really good friend in my life.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, just come through come through, have some coffee. All right.
I'll bring him in.
All right. Well, on that note, miss, is there anything, we're going to wrap it up. Is there anything you want to let the people know before we get out of here? Where they can find you, any, like, words of inspiration or anything, like, in general?
Oh, man. The inspiration thing. Just love.
Just love.
Honestly. It's so difficult. Actually, no, I take it back. Love yourself.
Love yourself.
Love yourself. Be selfish. put yourself first.
In a positive way, though.
In a positive way.
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
you have to be. Show yourself some love. Put yourself first once in a while. Remind yourself that you're important. If you're not happy, you can't make other people happy. So if you're like me and everyone else comes first, remember that you actually come before them. You're 0, they're 1.
You're 0, they're 1.
Yeah.
Damn. I've actually never heard somebody say that.
I just made it up.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good. That's honestly, I mean, like.
You're 0, they're 1.
0 in a positive way, because some people could see that as a negative, but like
No.
I get what you mean, meaning like you're first.
You're the first. You're the very first.
You're before there's a first.
Yeah, because I myself put everyone before me. I want everyone else to be happy because I think that's what will make me happy. But at the end of the day, if I'm not personally happy with myself, I can't actually make them happy. So 0, 1.
Damn,
Tight.
We'll end it right there.
Okay.
Where can the people find you on Instagram?
Oh, lady_libation.
What does that mean?
Lady of libation, master bartender, bro.
Oh, is that what that means? Dude, somebody asked me that the other day. It's like, how do you say your Instagram handle? I was like, it's called Lady Libation. At least that's what it is.
So I'm like a lady of the spirits.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know that.
It's more, everyone
now I
knows
know.
now.
Lady of the Spirits.
It's okay. I can't expect you to know. You're not in the industry.
I'm
so.
not. I'm sorry. I'm in the other like nerdy industry of coffee.
Yo, I'm actually really, really impressed with the coffee industry because, like, sometimes I hear y'all talking about, like, different strains of beans and stuff, and I'm like, oh, my God, this is just like cocktails without the booze.
Yeah, or, like, dude, you should have seen it today. Liav was cracking the whip on, cracking the whip on us. Like, we need to step up the game. Like, we're a specialty coffee shop. You know, this is what we're going to do right now.
I love it.
And it was like, we're doing pour overs and we're testing and, like, we're doing, okay, like, well, here's a different grind. Here's a different grind setting. Here's a different extraction, this, that, and this. And it's like, damn, I'm hella impressed right now. Like, yo, this is legit as fuck.
I have so much respect for you guys. Like, it doesn't all, it doesn't all taste the same, but I didn't realize how much work went into it.
Yeah,
so.
it's a lot of labor love here. And
so maybe
everybody cares.
We have a lot more in common than we think.
I mean,
in the industry.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I think we have a lot in common.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, I was like,
I don't wear grills.
Like, that's why you're here. Dude, you actually said, for people who don't, like, well, nobody would know because you said it to me, but, like, you thought I only wore my grill for that 90s theme party that was at First Cycle? Bro, I have a top and bottom. I'm like, no, I wear this on the regs.
I'm still waiting to see it on the regs.
What do you mean? I'm at work when you see me. That's what it is.
I thought that's reg.
I do. I have it mainly on me, and I'll wear it in here sometimes, but, like, also at the same time, I'm tasting coffee all day. I'm not going to, like, stain my gold.
I didn't know that was a thing. I'm so sorry. You didn't know what Lady Libation is? I'm not educated on grills.
Grills has nothing to do with Lady Libation or coffee. All right. Well, fucking, Brynn, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Thank you for sharing your story. And I honestly think that, yeah, you probably are here for a certain reason. I mean, after this crazy complicated life of surviving drive-bys, brain aneurysms, moving all around, doing the things that you're doing, you definitely here. You're making people happy and you're doing cool-ass things and you're living your life.
Trying.
Just keep it up. Just keep going.
Trying.
Hustling. Fuck yeah. Well, thank you again, Brynn. I appreciate it. And until next time, because this won't be the last time you're on the show.
Tight.
Let me guess.
Should we feed the chicken?
Feed the chicken.
Feed the chicken.
What's this?
Feed the chicken.
All right. Thank you so much, man.
Right.
Peace. Yes. Thank you so much, Brynn. That was, dude, just like I said at the beginning of the podcast, that's an amazing story. It's super gnarly. She's overcome a lot. And, just thank you again for sharing that. And thank you to all of you listeners. Thank you to everybody who continues to support Caffeine and Green. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and continue to share with everybody. Caffeine and Green is what it is. Thank you to Thorn Street Brewery for supplying the beers. Thank you to 7 Seas for supplying the studio and just all around coffee and all the awesomeness that it is. And thank you to all of you again. Thank you to Brynn. And I will see y'all next week. Peace.